Hey everyone, you're listening to Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh, and whatever special guest he has today, you can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good, and follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey everyone, welcome to the program. We have a good guest today. It is Oliver Hudesman. Oliver is a financial planner from Long Island, New York. He is a scratch golfer, and he had a career low round. It was the lowest round I ever saw on the bag. I was his caddy that day, and it was just a magical day, and we're going to get into how it all came possible. And in addition to just being a good golfer, he's also one of the course raters for the top 100 courses in America for Golf Digest. And he is going to help me feel smarter about myself, because sometimes as much golf as I play and I'm around and I think I know it all, I don't always understand the data that goes in the handicaps of the individual holes, because although I agree with most of the handicaps for the most part, sometimes I'm like, how did they arrive at this as the number 16 handicap on the hole? It seems a lot tougher than me. Oliver is going to help us out on that. Before we go any further, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, would you do so? That means a lot to our title sponsors and also the nerds at YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Algorithms matter. Points matter, comments matter. So if you have something nice to say, then please leave a 5-star rating. That goes a long way. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course and you're tired of hard seltzers or a beer, try a Party. For golfers, by golfers, in a new flavor coming out soon. Birdie juice. Not the shot. It's a drink. Reach cruising altitude with that. And if you don't have Party at your golf course, then get in touch with the golf staff and say, hey, we want that. Paradise Craft Distributors is the exclusive distributor of Party drinks across the state of Florida. Big thanks to the real estate pros of Vince Vizzacaro, Gene Walsh, and Samantha Walsh from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. If your dream is to live on a golf course like Lakewood National Golf Club, where this podcast originates from, then get in touch with suncoastdreams.com. Vince, Samantha, and Gene. It's a good time to buy. By the way, weather's starting to turn cool, and there's inventory at Lakewood National and also other places. And if all that golf has you tuckered out, BioLit Spa in downtown Sarasota. Get a cold water plunge, get a hot tub, get red light therapy, sauna, maybe even a massage. Make you feel a lot better. It'll be a nice reward for you, especially after you shoot a low round. Oh, speaking of low rounds.
How you doing?
Ollie, hey, what's going on, man? I'm so proud of you. That smooth 62 you shot with me on the bag. How did you do it with all those bad reads I gave you? How was that even possible?
Amazing. First, thank you for having me on the podcast, Kevin. Yeah, it was really, an amazing day. Was able to kind of stay in the zone, right? As professional athletes and sports psychologists talk about. Having you there and having my friend Jeremy there kind of helping me and guiding me was just kind of one of those days that the swing felt good, putts were going in, and, a lot of your support and your guidance, because that was the first time I had seen the golf course as well, was certainly invaluable to me.
Yeah, blind 62 on top of that. I have to tell you, when we started, I was a little bit stunned that usually I could tell you're a good player because I like to think I can read the room. Good players look a certain way. They have a certain equipment. They have certain bag tags. And I usually ask the good players, how much of the putt reading do you want done? And a lot of them just say, I'm going to do my own thing, but be available. And I always do that. I still think I'm a good player. When I take a caddy, that's how I like it. But you said I'll take all the reads you got. Why did you say that?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. Number one, not seeing the golf course before. It's certainly, rely when that happens, rely heavily on the caddy. Number two, knowing that you're a very good player, um, also helps. That I don't have to think, well, is he giving me a read for somebody who, maybe shoots generally in the 90s or hundreds, or is it somebody who's giving me, the right read? And, you also right from the beginning talked about the speed at which the ball was going to get to the hole. And I think that's so important. Matching up lines, obviously with speed, but caddy to player, you were really quick to notice that I'm a die speed kind of putter, and we were able to kind of, do great things that day together as well. So I think combination of not seeing the golf course, knowing you were a very good player, and frankly, just, that additional level of confidence that another set of eyes on it.
Well, you hit the shots and you made the putts and you smashed your previous career low. What was it before the 62?
Yes, I had shot in 65 on a much easier golf course. And so from a perspective of, beating my personal best, I was able to do that by 3 shots. But in reality, it was more than that, just because of, the red course at Streamsong is challenging at points. And so what was able to have my best round by a few, but also do it on a really, really good golf course that was difficult as well.
And you closed the deal. You never took your foot off the gas, which I was very impressed with. I want to get to the ending in just a minute. Your name, Oliver. Not many people call you that. I know 2 Olivers in my life, and they don't go by Oliver. They go by Chip and a middle name, Chip and Gordon. Tell me about your name, the origins of it, and who calls you Oliver today?
Yeah, so when I was born and growing up, my mother and father like unique names. My name's Oliver. My sister's Alexis. My brother's Graham. So I was really the only Oliver kind of in my area at the time, which was nice because when somebody mentioned my name, they knew who they were talking about. At this point, I really like going by Ollie. So when I hear somebody call me Oliver, it's either generally in a professional setting, somebody who doesn't know who I am, or likely I'm in trouble with my wife or my mom when they call me Oliver at this point.
I knew it. You mentioned professional setting. You're in a professional setting. You're in the office, and I can see a couple things over your shoulder on the wall. It looks we got some golf decorations going on. Why don't you tell me about the office space or the man space?
Yeah, totally. So I like to obviously have golf memorabilia and whatnot in my office here. I like to collect pin flags. This is kind of a newer thing for me. When I go to an event, was at the Ryder Cup this week at Bethpage, so I was able to pick up a flag. And what I like to do also is, my son is 8 years old, and as him and I go on golf trips together and do things, for us to collect pin flags from places that we've been. So, I have behind me the U.S. Open at Bethpage in 2009, the Masters. What else do I have? The Barclays, and then the PGA when I was at Bethpage as well, when Brooks Koepka won.
So you mentioned your son. He plays golf. So I imagine this is a family affair, and maybe family had something to do with you getting into golf. Take me back to the roots. Where does your golf story start?
Yeah, a little unique in that my parents don't play golf and never played. My dad, who's retiring now, actually starting to pick up the game, which is interesting. And difficult, as you could imagine, mid-70s trying to pick up golf. But my grandparents got me into the game when I was 4 years old. My uncle played on the mini tours when I was growing up. So quickly, he was my hero, wanted to be like him. So I would follow him around the range and on the course and whatnot. Really started taking golf seriously around 10 or 11 years old, played junior stuff and was fortunate enough to play golf in college and whatnot. But, my beginnings of golf really were from my grandparents, specifically my grandmother, who used to, take me to all my junior golf tournaments and lessons and whatnot, and really wonderful memories of growing up and all the sacrifices she made to get me to where I am.
And where's home for you?
I live in Melville, which is in the middle of Long Island, about 35 miles east of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. Good place to grow up. And where do you play most of your golf?
Yeah, so I belong to a club called Meadowbrook Club in Jericho. Um, um, yeah, just like a big golf course, kind of a combination of both parkland and links. Really, really big green complexes and wonderful practice facility. So you're really, really enjoying my time over there as well.
I forgot Meadowbrook because I'm from Meadowbrook, Pennsylvania. So like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Okay. So we had that.
That's
let's
right.
Let's go back to the 62. When you finished out, my guess was I thought you were about 5 or 6 under par. Do you remember what I said to you when we were done?
Yeah. So you had said to me, where were you? And for in terms of under par, and I had to think about it for a second. And I think I said something to the effect of, I believe that birdie I just made was for 9 under. And then you and I looked at the card and it was 10.
Isn't that awesome? But there's a lesson in that. You weren't like in your head during the round. And you knew you were in a good place, but you weren't doing the math, were you?
I was not. And again, it's one of those things where experience kind of being certainly not that low, but getting a bunch of rounds to 4, 5, 6 under par, knowing how my body felt and reacted once I got there, and doing something a little bit differently this time, and really trying to stay out of my way, both mentally and emotionally, and was able to do so, and really kind of focus on every shot. And that's one thing you and I really did well that day was, hey, here's where we are, here's what we're looking at, and we're able to pull off some high quality shots for sure.
Well, you said stay out of your own way. I don't know if you noticed, but I was trying to stay out of your way a little bit too.
Totally.
Kind of like a pitcher with a no-hitter going on. And I mean, you don't talk to a pitcher, but I had to talk to you and give you the numbers, but I don't think I gave you much more than that.
No. And I think you did a really good job of kind of staying present, having me stay in the present and whatnot. But it's a difficult thing when you get out of your comfort zone, and the ability to keep the pedal, on the floor and keep making birdies. And, thankfully was able to do that that day.
Well, I'm proud of you because you closed the deal and you stayed present, and I could just see the joy on your face when it was done, and maybe a little relief too. I felt the same way.
No doubt.
So have you backed that 62 up with any other good numbers? Or, because sometimes we see those guys on tour, they shoot a smooth 61, 62 and back it up with a 73. Where are you?
Yeah, so I have unfortunately I haven't played too much golf since I'm back from Florida, but having some difficulties finding that magic. A bunch of rounds, low 70s, mid 70s, which, fine, but nothing to that kind of effect. Just trying to figure it out. And I think one thing that you and I spoke about too, Kevin, was you realize you do not need to hit amazing golf shots all day long to shoot a great number. You keep the ball in front of you, you keep it in play, and you really manage the game and manage, the golf course. And we were able to do that really well that day.
Yes. There was nothing sexy about the round. I don't remember you knocking many really close. You just made a ton of 10 to 12 footers. And then we added up, and it was what it was. But that was a great day. It was a great day. You mentioned college. Where did you go?
Yeah, so I played golf at Nassau Community College, junior college here on Long Island. Was able to be part of the team that won a national championship in junior college my second year there, and then got a full golf scholarship to Adelphi University here on Long Island as well, a Division II program. And was able to finish out my college career there.
How was the college experience? Was it everything you thought it would be? Was it different? Did you like it?
I definitely enjoyed it. I was a commuter, so I lived at home while going to school and playing on the golf team. So I didn't get the full college experience in that sense, but was fortunate enough during my time at Adelphi. Was the same time Keegan Bradley was at St. John's. So we were able to play 2 events with St. John's. I was able to meet Keegan and whatnot. And, even back then you were able to see his game was a whole different level, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And you were at the Ryder Cup. You said, boy, I didn't see that coming. Did you? What do you think happened? You got an opinion on it?
I think, at the end of the day, Kevin, I think the Europeans just care more. It means more to them.
Yes.
And they do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They do it for pride. And listening to Shane Lowry yesterday after he made the putt that sealed the deal, he said, it was amazing winning the Open Championship at Portrush, but Ryder Cups is number one. And I don't think the Americans feel that way about it.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just different lifestyles. You know what I mean? The American game, just even in social play, we don't play alternate shot. They actually play quite a bit of alternate shot in social games, and it's something that they can share in for life, and you can see it. I want to talk to you about being a course rater of the top 100 in Golf Digest. How did you get that job?
Yeah, not easy. So I was fortunate enough through golf. As you know, you meet amazing people, and you never know, where things will lead. I was able to meet a friend who became a friend, who was a New York State captain for Golf Digest for panelists, and annoyed him for a bunch of years to get me an application to be on the panel. Finally got me an application. The first year I was denied. Gave better explanation about my love of golf course architecture and whatnot, and then was ultimately put on the panel the next year. And thankfully been on there for about 6 or 7 years now.
It almost seems like somebody's got to die, you know what I mean, to get a job like that, because it sounds like so much fun. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's absolutely a coveted position to have. I would say, though, unfortunately, like anything else in life, there are some people who take advantage of situations or whatnot, and then ultimately are asked to leave the panel, and that opens up, some opportunities as well for new panelists.
So help me understand this, because when I look at the rankings, I don't argue with anything, but how do you say Pine Valley's number one or Cypress Point? Like, how do you get down to the nitty gritty? What's the criteria that pretty much gets you to top 10 when you have so many?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing, Kevin, is to realize with golf course architecture and rankings is it's so subjective. It's so subjective. What I think is top of the line kind of golf course, you may feel differently. But I think, one thing that these golf courses all show, number one is history. I think a lot of these top golf courses have, a legacy of whether it's Bobby Jones or Walter Travis or whoever it is, some story and some history. But also, I think from a architectural standpoint, a lot of variety. Can it be fun for a scratch player from the back tee, but also a 20 handicap from the forward tee? Those are the kind of things that we look at to help our rankings. But, at the end of the day, people just have to realize that it is subjective. There's no right or wrong.
I get it. But do you guys get in a room and hash it out? Do you submit emails to each other? Like, how do you boil it down? Like, all right, here's our top 10 or top 100.
So thankfully, Golf Digest, kind of aggregates all of our data from the panelists. But essentially, I'll go play somewhere. I then go on the website, and there are 7 criteria that we look at, ranking 1 to 10. As an example, conditioning, playability, variety of holes, dogleg left, right, uphill, downhill, contours of fairways, resistance to scoring, right? How hard is it relative to other places? Is it too hard? And things like that. So once I put in my rankings, it kind of gets sent to Golf Digest. They aggregate everything, and then if I'm an outlier for one of those criteria, they'll email me and say, hey, you're a little bit off here versus everybody else. Can you explain more about why you felt a certain way?
All right, cool. I think I got it. Oliver Hudesman is our guest here on Party Time, brought to you by the Golf Real Estate Pros. of Gene Walsh, Vince Vizicaro, and Samantha Walsh, suncoaststreams.com. Part T golf drinks. If you're looking for an alternative on the golf course, try a Part T. If you need to unwind after a round of golf, go to Violet Spa in downtown Sarasota. Ollie, help me out here because I feel like a dummy, and I'm not afraid to admit that because I know you're going to make me feel smarter. When we get into course ratings, I'm just going to throw that out there. This course rating is 73.9. And then you have the individual 18 holes. And for the most part, I look at that stuff and I'm like, looks about right to me. Seems like to me. But every now and then there'll be a hole, and it's usually like a short hole that I think is tricky. And I look at the scorecard and it's the 16th handicap. And I'm like, how is that even possible based on how tough that hole is? But I imagine I'm leaving some data off the table. Can you help me out here?
Absolutely. The course ratings, both slope and course rating, and the individual holes is done generally through the local golf associations. So up here would be the Metropolitan Golf Association. But I've also had similar thoughts, Kevin, as well, on looking at the hole handicap and why things are a certain way. The way that they look at it is it's the difference between a scratch golfer and a 20 handicap. So it could be a very difficult hole, but if the scratch golfer is also going to have difficulty making a par, and the 20 handicapper is also going to have difficulty making a par, that may not be the hardest hole in the golf course. It's the largest spread between a scratch golfer and a 20 handicap.
Okay, I get it. I feel much better now because of that. How old are you, Ollie?
I'm 40 years old.
Are you playing your best golf now or when you were younger?
It's a great question. I would say certainly the day that we had together was my best golf. But I would say my best golf was played after college, before children. But now I'm playing good golf, but I think my best golf was 15 years ago, let's say.
I think I played my best golf in my mid-30s because you know what? I think I just matured and I didn't do I didn't hit stupid shots. I knew what my limitations were. I could still hit it a little bit, but big numbers, I got them out of the mix. I took my medicine more. Yeah, I started playing boring golf, kind of what I saw with you when you shot your 62. I mean, it was just steady. Did you find that your game changed over the years with aging?
Yeah, that was I was going to say, Kevin. I think what I've gained is perspective, right? More in that, growing up, my goal was to be a professional golfer on the PGA Tour. That's all I wanted to do. Golf was my life. As you get older, you realize that wasn't going to happen. And then, you get into your career after college, and then you gain some perspective that golf's not everything, right? I'm going to go home and my wife's going to kiss me whether I shoot 65 or 85. And having that perspective, I think, has really helped my game. And I think that's why, what I had said earlier, my best golf was after college because of gaining that perspective.
Yeah, perspective is everything. I couldn't believe how much of my self-esteem was wrapped up in my golf. Like, if I was playing bad golf, I almost thought I was a bad person. How ridiculous is that, right?
It is, but as somebody who put everything they had into a game, it's easy to kind of get into that mindset. But when you take a step back, it sounds ridiculous. But we put everything we had into it, and to your point, you looked at yourself and whatnot with how you played golf. And when I was able to get away from that, my best golf came out.
Yeah. You're a financial planner now?
Yes. So
tell me about that. And is there time to mix golf and business together? Because I often see business being done on the golf course. I think it's the best office of all, but that's just my opinion.
No doubt about it. Yeah. So my job now is really to help, we kind of really focus on pre-retirees and retirees, helping them create cash flow from their investments, and going from the psychological shift of saving, investing to all of a sudden having to start drawing off their investments for cash flow in retirement. And I think one parallel I can make between my job in golf is psychology plays such a huge role in personal finance, investing, and then as you and I both know well, those the your own thinking on the golf course and the way you perceive things, psychology and behavior, such a big part of investing as it is in golf as well.
You believe that golf reveals character, and like seeing somebody play a round of golf says a lot about who they are as a person.
No doubt about it. If I'm meeting someone and I see them kick a ball away from a root or a tree or something like that, I don't say anything, let them do whatever they'd like to do. But I remember something like that. And to your point, when it comes to a business transaction, it is something that plays into my mind.
Oh, yes. All right, Ollie, we're getting to the nitty gritty here. Just if you had to say it in a profound way, just how much does golf impact your life? How much does it mean to you? What does it do for you?
Yeah, it's been everything in the sense that it's opened up such doors for me. Through the game of golf, you get exposed to people who have been successful, and I've been fortunate enough to meet people who have taken me under their wing, kind of guided me and whatnot. So, golf gave me tremendous kind of identity growing up. But since then has opened up doors for me professionally and personally that I never would have been able to do without the game of golf. So it's been an amazing tool. And now at this point, to be able to hopefully share it more and more with my son, who's 8 years old, is really where I'm at in my life.
Yeah. How's his game coming around? And I want to know that, but I also want to know the better thing, just hanging out with the little guy. That's got to probably be the best part.
No doubt about it. And I also have to say that my wife allowed me to name him Palmer after Arnold Palmer. So that was somehow I got away with that one.
Oh, that's a great name. That's a great name. How's his game? Is he hungry? Is he showing promise?
So he's 8 years old. I'm very aware, Kevin, of not being that overbearing dad of you got to go hit balls, you got to go practice, you got to right. But at the same time, I think it's important to give him guidance. Be like, listen, you want to get good at golf or whatever, you have to, like Ben Hogan used to say, find it in the dirt. Go out and do it by yourself. So to that point, he's not there yet. But most importantly to me is he enjoys the time with me, driving a golf cart, playing 5 or 6 holes, getting a Snickers bar at the halfway house and going in.
That's part of the experience. Let him drive the cart. I mean, whatever gets him there. I remember Johnny Miller saying, if you really want to get the kids to the golf course, bring your shag bag, let them hit balls in the water. They're just overjoyed seeing the splash. But whatever gets them there, and that was part of me going to the golf course with my dad, is he let me drive the cart, and I felt like I was driving a car. Good stuff. Ollie, great to see you. Great to reconnect, and let's do it again sometime. All right, buddy?
No doubt about it. And Kevin, thank you for having me on the podcast today.
Oliver Hudesman has been our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks, the golf real estate pros, Vince Vizzacaro, Gene Walsh, and Samantha Walsh from suncoastdreams.com. If your dream is to live in the greater Sarasota area on a golf resort community like Lakewood National Golf Club, they are your people. And Biolit Spa in downtown Sarasota. For Ollie Hudesman, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com or call 941-220-4000.